All right. So we are on day 16.
16.
Just like sweet 16. All right. So the card that I got today, for this one is I am the creator of my own life experience. You are the creator of your own life experience, and as the creator of your experience, it is important to understand that it is not by virtue of your actions, not by virtue of your doing, it is not even by virtue of what you are saying that you are creating. You are creating by virtue of the thought that you are offering. You cannot speak or offer action without thought vibration occurring at the same time. However, you are often offering a thought vibration without offering words or action. Children or babies learn to mimic the vibration of the adults who surround them long before they learn to mimic their words.
Children are definitely mirrors to their parents for sure.
Yeah. That is definitely the truth. What about you?
Yeah, so I got the message. Someone sent me Joe Dispenza clip from Instagram. I'll have to send it to you, it's really good. But basically it was telling him, be grateful for everything, even the stuff that we might not understand as like gifts or shame, because fear and sadness perpetuate suffering, while gratitude accepts, believes, surrenders for new possibilities or destiny. So like I was talking about like receiving a diagnosis. When we have fear and sadness, we resist it, right? We think about changing it, we do all these things, and we're in fear and sadness. And in fear and sadness, we can't change our destiny, we can't change our possibilities. Only through acceptance and belief and surrendering can we change new possibilities. And I thought that was kind of interesting because although I've never experienced a diagnosis like that or whatever, I do think about like the actions that I have done in the past where I wasn't fully in like doing the best decision making because of drugs and alcohol and that kind of thing, or because I was perpetuating hurt that was done to me to other people without knowing it. And there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of fear, a lot of worry. And it shows up in my daily life too about, putting myself out there, making videos that someone is going to find out like how awful I was or whatever and think that like make judgments about me or whatever. And that causes me to like not move forward and to not accept that I'm different and changed. And that has caused me a lot more suffering, right? It just perpetuates the same suffering. Whereas like the more that I do gratitude and the more that I step into like whatever is like everything happens for a reason kind of stuff, like the more I can accept and move forward and accept that I'm human and believe and surrender that there are possibilities and that I have the capability of creating my own destiny and new possibilities and stuff like that. So
Yeah, sorry. I like that. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because we are our creators.
exactly. I think this is kind of goes in the same thing of pray with, or the quote was pray without ceasing and everything give thanks.
Yeah, I like
that. Awesome. Do you want to read the
yeah. I was just like struck by that, even more because like it goes back to the beginning where I wasn't really saying thank you for everything, but I was like trying to find gratitude in everything, even in the bad moments. So it was just I just feel like maybe a little bit more thanks, like it is grateful is thankful to, I guess, in this, in our own different ways. Because I was like, okay, well, I'm grateful for this, but I'm also thankful for it. So
yeah.
like that.
Do you notice a difference from the beginning of this till now?
Absolutely, because like like I definitely been purchasing things without like being more cringy about it. And like I finally just bought the webcam because I know it's Cyber Monday going on. I actually bought a different one because I did a lot of research before purchasing, but like I was like, well, I'll wait till my next check. But then I'm like, oh, it's Cyber Monday, it's like the sales going on and it's gonna end. Um so I was like, no, it's okay. It's gonna come back to me. I'm gonna spend this money and I'm gonna get it back. So like I have more of that mindset. And but and then like when I go to buy something that like certain clothes or something, I still am like, I say I can afford it now, but then I'm like, just don't want to spend that kind of money on that. Like I like it, but I don't like it that much. Now instead of like um like I can't afford that. Now it's more I can afford that. I just don't want to. like, like I just don't want to. I don't want to spend that kind of money on a pair of pants. Like I love my sister to death, but sometimes she'll spend $80 on a pair of pants, and I'm like, I just never been that kind of a person. I always find the sales section, so I'm like, yeah, I could afford that, but I just don't see myself spending that kind of money on a pair of pants. When if you wait a little bit longer, at least until after season, and you can get it on sale and just wear it next year. I don't need to wear what's in style right now or like in season like some people do. So yeah, I definitely noticed a shift in my thought process when it comes to like purchasing stuff. Before I would always be cringing or like um uh, like prices, or I would say the opposite. Like I said, I would say, oh, I can't afford that, but now I just say I can afford it, or what if I could afford, like if it is more out of my price range, I'll try to play with that instead.
Nice.
What about you, since you've done this like 3 times?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not as worried about money anymore. Like I used to do this thing where anytime I would check my bank account, I would get like upset or like anxious or whatever. And now there's still a little bit of that, but it's not as bad as it was. It's definitely a lot better. And I don't think about money as much. Like I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not obsessed with it as much. I still do, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of being human, because we have to have it to live, especially in
Right.
this world.
And I think my biggest thing is that, like, I think the biggest change I've seen is just trusting and surrendering that things do show up. Like I have a lot more trust and surrender when it comes to things. Bless you.
I didn't want to be rude and do that while you're talking, so I muted it real quick.
No, no worries. But yeah, I think that's like those are the two things that I've seen the most. And like I said yesterday, like I have this like feeling that like I could be grateful for everything, even the stuff that I feel shame about. And I could use that because I was talking to somebody a couple days ago, maybe, and I talk about like we all have this tendency sometimes to play in victim mode where we like are like, oh, my story is different from everyone else's. Like that it works for them, but that won't work for me because I'm different. Like my thing is worse or whatever, comparing and whatever. But when we're in victim mode and it happens, it's part of human being human. And it's also like hard to not be in that because we live in a world that's very much that fear frequency.
Yeah.
Um, and I just felt like um, when you're in that mindset, you can't be in creative mindset. And I was telling her that when you get a step out of it and say, well, what if, or how is this, or like why, or what, you just start asking questions and you kind of open up your curiosity to possibilities, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
accept like, okay, well, this is my situation. And then you play with like, well, how can I be in this situation and it be better? Like, how can I stay, like, how can this be my situation with this amount of money in my bank account and it be okay? How can I want to do something in like no trust that's going to be here and it's, whatever. So, I feel like that is kind of like what I feel is that when you step out of victim mentality and you go into it and you find gratitude for whatever situation, and I'm not talking about like toxic positivity where you ignore that you have hurt feelings, but when you come out of that point where you're like, this is a sucky situation, you can then tap into like, okay, we sometimes don't have control over the situations we're in, but how can I have a better control of my situation and stuff like that. So I'm just that's kind of what I'm playing with. And um yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely good. I also noticed that I'm not so hard on myself about certain situations. Like yesterday, I went to start on my course ideas, my first course idea, but I just kind of got overwhelmed like when I sat in front of the computer. And so I ended up going and I literally like I didn't get mad at myself, but I literally got overwhelmed thinking about all the stuff that I should be doing or what I could do or how to do it or where to start, that I ended up going and binge watching like a bunch of different movies. Like I just like, I excited but scared myself at the same time. So I wasn't mad, but then I went in today and I started doing a bunch of research, not on like what I did before, where I was like looking up course like how to like outline. I actually was just going and started researching like what other people were putting as of like materials, because I almost forgot about that. I'm like, that's really important. So I started making a list of what students that watch my courses will need. So like I had more confidence and I just went in it to where I'm just like, you know what, today could be a day of researching and writing things down instead of we're gonna dive right into it. I think that's what I did to myself yesterday.
Yeah. And the crazy part about it is like I read this, let me see if I can pull it up. But we tend to overcomplicate things and make things a lot harder
Yeah.
they have to be. And when I was you're reading the book too, and I don't know if you saw this part or read this part, but it was in Finding Your Voice. Too many content creators think they only have one at bat, that they have to make the one most beautiful created video or image or rant on Facebook. But what they don't realize is that their hunger to make it perfect piece of content is actually what cripples them.
Yeah. See, I
And
guess
like,
mine wasn't so much worried about like I want the content to be the best looking or sounding, but my thing is like I want to make sure that I have all the information that I need to give them, like things I wish I would have had when I started. So and then but yeah, it wasn't like so much of that. It was like I guess the fear of failure that like got to me, because I was
yeah.
like, oh,
But the question is, why would you think that you would fail?
that maybe I didn't like get all the information that I needed to have in there.
It wasn't good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's not being good enough? It's about being perfect.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, it looped back in there. Look at you, always find a way to loop it back in there.
I'm just saying, I was at your position because when I was making my content, I had like a whole script. I bought this like teleprompter and I was like reading off of it, and then it was like skipping, and then I would start over. And then there was just this point that was like, this isn't a super expensive, like, I don't have all the bells and whistles. I don't have a team. I don't have all of the equipment. I don't make enough money to have all the equipment. but I do know that this is important and that I know how to teach this because I know I do this daily. I record my dreams daily and I do all these things daily. I've been working with this for 3 years now and I know how to do it. So I'm just gonna do it and I'm just gonna accept it the way it is. And I just started recording just like this. And I was just recording it and just talking like I would on a live or whatever. And then it became so much easier.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then the same thing happened when I was doing my podcast, is that I was like, I would get like so stressed out that I would start talking from my chest. And then I would get like so like, that stress breath, right? You're like trying to get it out really fast. It's like I'm not breathing totally deeply and I'm just like getting it out and I would mess up more. And then I would be thinking about how I'm talking too much and I'm like, I'm supposed to be talking at this is a podcast. Like, and then finally there was just like this turning point that was just like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to drain the joy out of it and it's not going to be fun and I'm never going to complete it. So what do I want more? Do I want this perfect content that I never get done? Or do I want to just do it? And then as I grow and get bigger and I get more people and more things and that like people who can edit videos, that kind of thing, then it will get better. Like people who have really good production and like have like no mistakes and everything is just like grand, they have team. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's like the big thing that I learned. So I totally understand. But remember, the question too is, do you want to complete this and always be in progress? Or do you just want to get it done because done is better than not done?
Right. I want to complete it.
Right. And so like that if you can just repeat because that's what my motto like became for a while until I started doing it, was done is better than not done. Done is not better than not done. And I just kept telling myself like done is better than not done. It's not about perfection, it's about getting it done. Done is enough.
Yeah.
And you can always go back. The more confident you get, you can always go back and change it and edit it. And if you find out more information where you're like, oh, I missed it, you can always add to it. Like there's a point in my 21-day challenge where I missed a whole section and I was like, oh, PS. I just made a PS video, like, oh, PS, I forgot to mention XYZ. And then I just made it a 2-part video instead of a 1-part video. And then when I completed the whole 21 days, I went back to day 17 or whatever it was, and I made one full video again. Okay. And like, the whole thing and deleted it. That's kind of like, that helped me anyway. You know what I mean? So, but right?
I mean that, but the reason I got into that is because it also is part of the abundant mindset where like before starting this journey, I would have been so hard on myself and I would have been like, well, you should have been in there instead of watching TV, or you should have been, but this time I'm like, you know what? I overloaded my brain with wanting to be perfect. And I was like, my brain did what it needed to do. And, today I was like, all right, we're going to do this. But, and that's also like goes along with all this. Cause that's like the, abundant mindset when you're like really doing it with a feeling like you're abundant, it's more beautiful, it's more, that's what you're putting out in the universe.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing too, to have so much compassion for yourself.
Yeah. And that's why I was proud of myself, because there was a few moments that ego came up and I'm like, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. Like I was like, comforting my ego on that aspect of it. And then I I did it. Plus I did something I haven't done in a long time, where I actually stayed up till like 1, just like watching heartfelt movies and, like things that touched my heart and made me go, oh, Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I haven't done a late night type thing. So I feel good.
Good. And this is really good that we're talking about this today, because when we do the partner sharing, we have to choose something that we're grateful for, that stretches us. So it has to be something that we might not necessarily actually be grateful for, like something that we understand that it's something outside of what we normally would be grateful for.
Right.
like something that like would stretch us in our gratitude of like, this is not a normal thing to put on our gratitude list, but we can find some gratitude about it. So
Very true. So I guess that would be part of my gratefulness of like giving myself self-love when I needed to, instead of overloading myself even more, like we should be in there right now, like we should be pushing through this fear, we should be pushing through this, you
yeah.
know. But no, I like,
So you're grateful for your overwhelm because of your overwhelm, you got to be compassionate towards yourself.
yes, I like that.
So for the exploration,
Okay. The exploration is, do you desire for everyone that which you desire for yourself? I'll reread that. Do you desire for everyone that which you desire for yourself? Name some things you desire. Practice celebrating everyone's success.
I am gonna do my thing that I'm my $1,000 my thousand followers. There's like a jealousy sometimes I get for people who get real viral and have like thousand more than 1,000 followers, whatever. And I do know that that I am grateful for everyone's success because it does make it easier. So
Pay for
and
them.
I do. Huh?
And sometimes we pay for them.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But
I know. I know. I actually don't, I don't even think you can do that until you've had a
a
thousand.
thousand.
Yeah. Like, cause
I
you're
think I can still promote.
okay. I wasn't sure because I never really tried that before, you know, I got
Yeah,
it.
I can't add like Instagram link. I can't do a link tree. I can't do like
Oh
full.
yeah. Not yet.
There's a lot of things I can't do because I don't have 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
But
So anybody watching this and listening, go follow her.
yeah. But I do for the most part desire, like even when I think about, I don't know if anybody knows about the Ho'oponopono prayer, but like even the people in my past and relationships or that I'm not friends with anymore or that are not like not close anymore, like I always like if some kind of jealousy or like grumpiness, I always end up with the Ho'oponopono prayer of like, I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, that kind of thing. And it's like, which is basically it talks about like doing have like that. So I constantly am thinking that, but I do know that like there are times where jealousy does creep up and I want that for myself. But and so I think that for me that's something I desire, but I want everyone to get that as well. You know what I mean? Like, which is why I engage with a lot of people's content,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if they have like smaller numbers, or whatever, because I want them to hit their 1,000 people.
Yeah. The internet's kind of wonky. Like you froze up 2 times. I heard everything you said, but I just wanted to let you know you froze up like 2 times, and then now it's got like this almost like a robotic sound at the end of when you speak. But
Oh, yeah.
what I was gonna say is like I was there. I still have those moments. I mean, I have 4,000 followers, which is a lot more than you have, but still I'm like, it's that human side of me is always wanting more. I'm like, okay, well, if I had like 10 or 20,000 like some other people, then my business would definitely be booming. But then, like I said, it'll happen in due time. So I don't get as like jealous of it anymore. Um, but I used to be more on the jealous side of like success, like example, when you were able to, quit your job, or like, Ashley, like I guess in a side of me is like jealous because I'm like, well, I wish I didn't have to have 9 to 5, to support my business side of it. Or like example when like when we were at the store the other day where potential customers for like the wire wrapping side of the stuff that I do, and my sister had on pendants like promoting somebody else, like wire wrap stuff of, and I was like, it was cringy to me, cringe worthy situation. But I still like was like, I said I want to see everybody successful. Even inside, I'm like, I wish, I was that successful, or where like she was wearing my stuff instead of somebody else's. Inside, I was feeling that. But I told the people that I was telling about my stuff that I was like, I'm still going to write his information down because I want to see everybody be successful. I said, plus, if we all just got along, like if we all helped and build each other up, then we're all going to be successful. I said, plus, I also realized that um my technique is way different anyways. I use different colors and he just uses basic, silver and everything he does, so it's like, but in the way there was jealousy, but I still want everybody to be successful. Like I want to see other people, like other wire wrappers be successful, but deep, inside there is that little bit of jealousy of those that already have success. Like, I just actually purchased from this one guy I've been following for a long time. I love his stuff, and he sells tutorials. So I bought a couple of his tutorials because he had a good sale going on, like an extra percentage off of what he already has on sale. So I bought a couple of them because his technique is like just phenomenal. And, but deep inside, I'm like, I wish I was there, you know what I mean? Where he's selling pieces for $1,000, and it's like, I'm happy for him, but it's also a little jealousy inside, like I said, I want other people to get it, but it's also those that are already there. It's a little jealousy. So, I mean, I still wish for success for everybody, but I guess because I'm not there, there's still that jealousy inside.
Yeah. So your desire is to what? Quit your job and become a full-time wire wrapper, sell your wires for $1,000?
Well, my desire, yeah, I mean that, and part of the other stuff that I do, like to be able to
Be full-time.
fully focus. But actually, I've noticed that today, like I was telling you, because of what happened yesterday, I was like, I guess it's a good thing. Everything happens in divine timing because, I'm still in the process of, I have to set a time limit as well. I need to get that down. I need to get past I'm not mad at myself for it, but whatever fear that I have, I need to work on that, that's just shadow side of it. And, set a time limit and go in here. And just because I don't get it done in the 30 minutes or an hour that I set a time to do a wire wrapping or to start creating video content, that's okay. Cause like I do have that overwhelm where I feel like I need to get it done now. If I start it, I want to get it done, like that's something
Yeah.
that was a problem of why I didn't start for a long time with like wires. Because it's like, I wanted to start it and be able to finish it. I hated to start and have to stop and then pick it up the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you go up to those $1,000 pieces, that's going to take longer than,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So,
at least I got some download on that, like now I
yeah,
see what I need to work through. But yeah,
totally.
I guess my goal is to be able to quit my job and do the wire wrapping full time, and um card readings full time, and just not, and my Reiki card reading and wire wrapping, and then have my courses, and then that way I can be able to do them all day if I wanted to, because I love doing it. Like
Right.
once I do start.
Exactly. Awesome. So then that's your name, that's what you're naming. And then you're naming everyone to have celebrate everybody who has quit their job and running their full-time business and doing
Yes.
it on their own.
Yeah.
So River Guide, being for everyone expands your sense of self. True. All right, I'm gonna go with the being grateful unless you have something else you'd like to say.
No, that just touches back on what I was saying, how like, even though it was another wire wrapper, I still was like sharing them. I was still spreading their success, like
Right.
I wrote his information down too. And I was like, I just want you guys to see that, like, I want everybody to be successful. I said, so there's his information and here's my information.
Right.
And I said, and I did say that. I was like, we both have way different techniques as well. So I think that is part of being for everyone expands you. And that did expand me and it made me feel very joyous. But like I said, there's still that little, my sister's wearing other people's stuff and, not any of mine, there was that. But I was like,
Yes.
still wanting to help promote others.
Yeah, totally. I acknowledge and thank God as bountiful me as the money, credit cards, plans, fishermen, shopkeepers, cooks, natural gas, truck drivers, turkeys, and for participating in every meal and every product I use today. And today I especially am grateful for the internet, even the slow internet.
Even if it's low. Okay, so I acknowledge and thank Goddess Millions Me as the money, credit cards, plants, fishermen, shopkeepers, cooks, natural gas, truck drivers, all livestock, so like turkeys, cows, and those that like farmers for participating in every meal and every product I use today. And today I'm especially acknowledging the internet. That's how we're able to connect nowadays.
So as for being generous, I filled up someone's tank. I bought my dad breakfast, lunch, and a part that he needed from Amazon. So
Aww.
that was my generosity.
I mean, this was like a couple days ago, like I think, or yeah, a day or two ago, but there's a girl that I came across on TikTok who she makes like her own, she does like jewelry stuff too, and she makes like bookmarks and other things, and I've been following her for a while, but I don't see her content all the time because I like to go through the For You page. And so anyways, I came across her video, and she was just like, she's going through something at home, and she asked if people could help her to get a hotel room so she could get away for one night and to help clear her mind because it's just a lot going on. So I reshared her video and explained to people like, we've all been there, we all needed the help, like let's like give what we can, even if it's like $5 or something. And then I still sent her $25. And I knew at the time she was still like $160 short of what she needed for the hotel room that was by her. But, I felt called to giving her like that and to doing the video too.
Awesome. So generous.
I know, right? I know.
Would you like
buying gifts? I've been buying gifts, Christmas gifts.
Would you like to go first and tell me what the thing that you are grateful for that is a stretch for you today?
Oh, trying to think. What's a stretch for today?
Well, are you doing the overwhelm? Is that what you're doing? That you're talking about earlier?
Yep. I'll do the being.
So you are grateful for the overwhelm of trying to make your course?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it also brought up a lot of because of the overwhelm, it made me see a lot of different things I need to work on before the point of.
But we're just stating the thing that's stress. That
Grateful.
you choose something that is a stretch for you.
What about you? What was yours?
I'm gonna say overeating.
Okay. Which is funny because I've been doing that the last like 2 days. So I guess.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Everyone, they're gluttony. All right. So you go first.
All right. And you're still sticking with spirit?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with goddess. I just wanted to look at it and see what I felt called to before I started. We choose something that is okay. That's why. Okay. I didn't understand. Like, I was like, where are you seeing that at? Of like, we're writing the stretch. Okay. All right. So goddess me is being grateful for all of life. I am grateful for my overwhelm now.
You surrender to being grateful for all of life now. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now.
All right. Goddess me is being grateful for all of life. I am grateful for my overwhelmed now.
You surrender to being grateful for all of life. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now.
I do, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overflow now.
Nope.
Overwhelm. I'm grateful for my overflow of overwhelm. There we go.
There you go. You surrender to being grateful for all of life. You thank Goddess as your overwhelm now.
I am, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overwhelm now.
You surrender to being grateful for all of life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now.
I do, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overflow of overwhelm in this moment now.
You are so grateful. I can see that. You surrender to being grateful for all of life. You thank Goddess as your overwhelm in your life now.
I do, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overflow now. Overflow of overwhelming now.
You surrender to being grateful for all of life now. You thank Goddess you as overwhelm in your life now.
I think my body is not grateful for that overwhelm.
I think you've hit it. You've hit the gratitude, so you've moved past it. No more resistance.
Right.
So,
I'm like, I got overflow coming my way, baby. Let me tell you.
yeah.
Okay, so Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for the overwhelm in my life right now.
You surrender to being grateful for all of life. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now.
I do, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overwhelm right now.
I see that. You surrender to being grateful for all of life in every moment. You thank Goddess as overwhelm now in your life now.
I do, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overwhelm now.
You surrender to be grateful for all of life now. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now.
I do, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overflow of overwhelm in this moment now.
Ooh, you surrender to being grateful for all of life now. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now.
I do. And is this the last one, or did I get ahead? Okay.
Nope, you're this last one.
All right. So, because Goddess me is grateful for all of life, and I am grateful for my overflow of overwhelm in this moment now.
You surrender to being grateful for all of life now. You thank Goddess as overwhelm in your life now. Goddess you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for overwhelm now, for your overwhelm now.
Yes. And I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. I thank Goddess as overwhelm.
Yep. Goddess you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for your overwhelm now.
I am. And I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. And I thank Goddess as the overwhelm is here and ending.
Yes, Goddess you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for your overwhelm now.
I am. And I surrender to being grateful for everything and all of life. And I thank Goddess of the overflow of overwhelm now.
Goddess you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for your overwhelm now.
I am. And I surrender to being grateful and thankful for all of life and everything in it now. And I thank Goddess me as the overflow of overwhelm now.
I see that. And you, Goddess you is being grateful for all of life now. You are grateful for your overwhelm, for your videos, not doing your videos now.
I am. And I surrender to being grateful for all of life and everything in it at this moment. And I am grateful, and I thank Goddess now as the overflow of overwhelm. I can't say
Spirit, or no, Goddess you is being grateful for all of life. You are now grateful for your overwhelm and not doing your courses now.
I just can't get over that. I surrender being grateful for everything in all of life in this moment now. And I thank Goddess as the overwhelm.
Good. Goddess, you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for your overwhelm that prevented you from doing your courses now.
I am, and I surrender to being grateful for all of life and everything now, even the overwhelm of my course. And I thank Goddess as the overwhelm.
Do you feel resistance to that?
I think I do. I think I do. I think I'm not
I mean, that's good. That's stuff that's supposed to stretch you.
Yeah, I guess like I mean I am, but I'm not truly feeling it, and I'm starting to feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why
like
my
I
body's like
can tell.
overflow, not overwhelm. Stop saying it. My body's like, nope, stop saying it.
We're being grateful for the not so grateful things.
We're grateful for no. Well, no, we don't need to say it.
Goddess, you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for your overwhelm that prevented you from doing your courses now.
Exactly. And I surrender to being grateful for all of life now in this moment. And I thank Goddess me as the overwhelm I'm dealing with now.
Goddess, you is being grateful for all of life. You are grateful for your overwhelm that prevented you from doing your courses and allowed you to do TV binging all day.
I am. I am very grateful to be able to TV binge, and I surrender to being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And I thank Goddess me as overwhelm now.
Last one.
Yes.
Goddess, you is being grateful for all of life. You are so grateful, Samantha, for all the overwhelm that you experienced and that prevented you from doing your courses now.
Thank you, overwhelm. Thank you. Oh, we are thankful, overwhelm. We're going to say that. Going to say that. I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. And I thank Goddess as overflow of my overwhelm.
Beautiful. Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I am grateful for overeating now.
You surrender to be, see, doesn't it feel weird? It feels weird saying it, huh? You surrender to being grateful for all of life now. You thank Spirit as overeating in your life right now.
Yeah. Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I am so grateful for overeating now.
And I see that because you're surrendering to being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you thank Spirit you as overeating in your life now.
Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I'm great. My stomach is grateful for overeating right now.
I'm sure it is. So I see that you surrender to being grateful for all of life, and you thank God. You almost said Goddess. You thank Spirit as overeating in your life now. It's like we're gonna take a nap. We don't need to keep saying that.
Yeah. Spirit, yeah, from the overeating. Now that we're grateful for it, we can go take a little nap. Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I am grateful for overeating now.
I see that because you surrender to being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you thank Spirit as overeating now in your life.
Spirit me is being grateful for all of life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. I am grateful for overeating now.
I see that because I see that you surrender to being grateful for everything in life at this moment now. And you thankful and thank Spirit as overeating in your life now.
Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I am so grateful for overeating and stuffing my belly so full that was miserable now.
You feel good in the moment, and then later you're like, oh, why did I do that?
Exactly. I'm so grateful for it.
I did that the other day. So I see that you are surrendering to being grateful for everything in life now. And I see that you thank Spirit as overeating in your life now.
Spirit me is being grateful for everything in all of life now. And I am grateful for overeating, or stuffing my face now.
I see that. I see that you're surrendering to being grateful for all of life and everything in it right now. And you thank Spirit as overeating in your life right now.
It's true. Spirit me is being grateful for all of life, all of my belly. And I am grateful for overeating now.
True. Because I see that you are happy to surrender to being grateful for all of life in this moment now. And you thank Spirit as overeating and making your tummy overfull in this moment right now.
Yeah, because that's abundance for sure. This is the last one.
No, I have like, we need like 2 more.
Okay. Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I am grateful for I was gonna say overflow.
See?
Overeating
Maybe
now.
we got a lot of overflow coming our way. We got all this overflow coming our way.
Yeah.
That's funny. And I see that because you're surrendering to being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you thank Spirit as overeating in your life right now.
It's true. Spirit me is being grateful for all of life. I'm grateful for overeating now.
I see that. And I see that you surrender to being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you are grateful and thank Spirit as overeating in your life right now.
One more.
Spirit, you is being
Oh, you're
grateful.
going.
Huh?
Okay, I was like, that's the last one.
Yeah, for that one.
Okay.
And then I was moving into the next. Spirit, you is being grateful for all of life. And you are grateful for overeating now.
It's true. I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. I thank Spirit me as overeating now.
Well, good, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life. And you are grateful for the overflow of overeating now.
It's true. I surrender to being grateful for all of life. And I think Spirit me as overeating.
Well, good, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you are grateful for overeating the overflow of everything now.
True. I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. I think, guys, no, Spirit as overeating, filling up my stomach too much now.
True, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life. And you are grateful for overeating in this moment now.
That's true. I surrender to being grateful for all of life. I think Spirit as overeating now.
Good, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life and everything in it in this moment now. And you are grateful and thankful for overeating in the moment now.
I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. I think Spirit as overeating now.
Good, because Spirit you is grateful and thankful for everything and all of life in the moment now. And you are grateful for the overeating that you have done this past weekend and now.
Oh, I surrender to being thankful and grateful for all of life now. I think Spirit as those full, miserable moments of not knowing when to say enough. No.
I get it, because Spirit you is grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you are grateful for all of the overflow of all the food and overeating that you did now.
It's true. I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. Lisa's calling me. I thank Spirit as overeating now.
Well, that's good, because Spirit you is being and are grateful for everything in life and all of life as it is now. And you are grateful for the overeating that you did then over the weekend and now.
Yeah, I feel that I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. And I thank Spirit as overeating now.
Good, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life and everything in it right now. And you are grateful for the overflow of all the overeating you did now.
Yeah, because it has to be abundant, you know. I surrender to being grateful for all of life. I thank Spirit as the overeating now.
Well, good, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life and everything in it now. And you are grateful and thankful to give the overflow of abundance of the overeating that your stomach had over the weekend and now.
Wow, was that the last one or is there one more?
Just one more. Yeah, we're on the last one now.
I surrender to being grateful for all of life now. I thank spirit of the overeating now.
Well, good, because Spirit you is being grateful for all of life and everything in it. And you are grateful for all the overflow of abundant food and overeating that your stomach did this past weekend and now.
Yep, and it's true. I completely surrender to being grateful for absolutely every aspect of life now. I thank spirit for everything, especially overeating.
Good.
All right, before we go, let's do the today we get $16,000.
Oh, yes. Oh, boy, I didn't realize we were all the way up to that.
Tomorrow is 32,000. Okay, I'm ready to go if you're.
Oh, you go first. You go first.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
So I'm going to buy 3 tickets to Scotland for me, my sister, and me, my sister, my mom to Scotland to visit in February. And that will be about $5,000. And then I'm taking $5,000, which would be $10,000 for like food and drink and like going out and exploring and all that stuff. So that's $10,000. And the remainder 6 is a down payment for a flat and a realtor in Scotland, so that I can get somebody for when I go over there for school.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, mine's gonna be simple this time. I thought it was gonna be overwhelming, but it's not. So I'm gonna take 10,000 of it and give it to, because he knows the land better, but I'm gonna give 10,000 of it to Allah to buy the land that we wanted, or find a building that's already in that price range if we can find that, or at least just I'm giving it to him, so I'm spending it, and then even if he puts it away so we can keep adding to it, cool. And then the other 6 I'm going to put as a down payment on a new car.
Woo! Awesome. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay. So are we just gonna, do you want to just pick it up, like, so
Stop the recording.
oh shit, sorry. I will delete that part.
And that part and this part.